Welcome to Hillheads then for this final game of the season between the Whitley Bay Beacons and the Nottingham Vipers. Beacons having won 15 out of 15 this season, looking to make it a clean sweep and go the whole of the regular season with a 100% record. One of only two teams in the whole country that can do that. The other is in action today. That's the Solway Sharks in Division 2 North. They're taking on Grimsby Wolves. The only other unbeaten team this season was the Solihull Vixens, but they lost to the Queen Bees 5-0 last weekend. So only two teams are unbeaten this year in the whole of the country, and both of which could go the season with a 100% record. As they go for a huddle here, the Beacons. Nottingham arrive with 10 skaters, plus goalie Caitlin Woolley. So I would assume it's two lots of 5 units. And it looks like Becky Castor-Wood's line is going to start. She's got Kimberly Brengan and Danielle Turnbull on her line. That's the forward line that spent a lot of last season together. No Ruby Newland. She's away at a junior tournament this weekend, so she's unavailable. One would assume then that would put Kate Ord on the top line with Steph Towns and Abby Coulshaw. As Robin Mullen fist pumps Becky Castor-Wood. We're underway. Danielle Turnbull cushions it back on a day that could see a lot of the playoff places decided. Score line in Slough is that the Firebees are 5-0 up. As that scored straight away. I'll come back to that in a second, but that is Kimberly Brengan, who has scored 18 seconds in. And the first real attack, the first time they'd entered the offensive zone, and the Beacons convert. It's 1-0. So Kimberly Brengan with an absolute rocket. Missed the last couple of games. Great to see her back in the lineup. And the team using the opportunity to go for a line change. In fact, it's going to be Casey Trail who's going to play on that right wing spot alongside Steph Towns and Abby Coulshaw. Steph just adjusting a chin strap on her helmet, I believe. So the all GB line out there. Aisling Rafter and Vicky Smith playing on the blue line. Big wind-up shot from Casey Trail, who scores. 2 shots, 2 goals. And Hips McGee doubles the lead. Well, if this is a sign of things to come, it's just going to be shoot on sight. And Casey's joking, saying go back on the ice. So they're going to put the third line out there, which Iona Harrison is going to centre with... No, it's not. It's going to be Claire Turnbull to centre. Iona's going to play on the left wing, Kate Ord on the right wing. And Vipers are going to change their forward line as well. But remarkably, I mean, there's only been 25 seconds played. I can't remember a game where a team has been 2 goals up after just 25 seconds. Let alone the need to make a line change, but I think it was just to get everyone a chance on the ice early doors, and why not, as the official will come across to discuss a couple of things. But Beacons in a fantastic position here. I'll go back to what I was going to say before, and that is that the Firebees are currently 5-0 up against the Sheffield Shadows after 2 periods played there. We'll keep you up to date with the scorelines coming in, but that has a massive bearing on the playoffs, so blows it wide open, especially with Milton Keynes and Swindon meeting in the other game later on this evening. Swindon winning against the Firebees yesterday 6-1, quite emphatically, to move to within a point of Sheffield. So that, I think, is going to run and run this final weekend, next weekend, the final round of games where everything will be decided, but a win for either MK or Swindon tonight would be a huge step forward for them. But anyway, back to this game. And it's Kate Ord who enters the zone straight down the right wing. Is she going to shoot now? Wilkinson's all over her like a cheap suit just to try and prevent her getting the shot off. But would have been remarkable if it had been a similar shot down that same right wing. Abby Robotham sends it forward to Kate Ord, who will re-enter the zone. Shot comes in, pushed away, clears the zone. Back to Abby Robotham, who will check back across to Caitlin Stocks. Caitlin switches the play out wide to Kate Ord, cycles it well, slips it forward. The Vipers trying to break the play up over onto a far side. banked off the boards again. Good hustle play that by Claire Turnbull. And this is terrible by the Beacons, though. They've gone over a minute without scoring. As Megan Craig will make the cover up. All jokes aside, though, it's been a fantastic start, and the Vipers with a chance to get a foothold back in the game with their first offensive zone face-off, as Robin Mullen, who very much is their top player going forward. Over to Danielle Turnbull, who works it back to Emma Painter. Across to Aisling Rafter. Back to Painter, forwards into a path of Danielle Turnbull, who cushions it nicely for Becky Kastner-Wood, the professor. Nice hands from her as she sends it through two players, and it'll be chased down on that far side by Kimberly Brengan, who opened the scoring. For those of you who've joined the game late, 2 goals in the first 25 seconds have already given the Beacons the advantage here early on. Kimberly Brengan working well. It's all due respect to Nottingham. The Beacons probably going to use this opportunity to work on some plays ahead of the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. This is their last game before that weekend, of course. As they'll push out down the left wing side, carried in by Mullen once again. Puck comes loose. Kimberly Brengan with a flick away, but Mullen onto it in a flash. Spent part of last season with the Kingston Diamonds in the Elite League. Very good players. A drop of his shoulder, gets her inside, gets a shot off, and through the high slot and scores. Beating Megan Craig on the blocker side, and the Vipers back in this one. And that's why you don't give a player like Robin Mullen too much time on the puck. She will punish it right between the two face-off circles as she unleashed that, drilled it blocker side. And it's been an explosive start to this game then. Steph Towns wins a draw. Casey Trell cushions it back to Abby Botham. Abby off the boards. Now Lydell jumping out the way of it. It will force Vipers defender Morgan Cameron to drop back. Abby Coulshaw works it free. Vipers will get it away. So they've come here light of numbers, just the 10 skaters, plus the goalie, but well, the Beacons know all about travelling light. They've had to do that on many occasions this season, and it hasn't really affected them. So Nottingham are involved in high-scoring games. They'll put up a lot of goals, but concede many as well, as Towns will fire from the lovely set-up play from Abby Coulshaw, but the high glove save by Caitlin Woolley will see us get an offensive zone face-off for the Beacons with a little over 3 minutes gone in this period. Face-off to be taken by Claire Turnbull. Wins it well, out wide, sent back across, picked off. Vipers looking to maybe push out here. And Grace Ralphs it is, who led the charge, just about kept inside the blue line. This time it is poked out by Iona Harrison, but then carried back in. Aisling Rafter will control and just take the sting out of it a little bit by some good puck management there. Jones just about keeps it inside. Harrison switches the play, gets it away out the zone though, and Claire Turnbull can race onto that, but it's cleared on the far side by Chilman. Rafter. Bounce just took it away from Iona Harrison, so she'll go for the line change. Danielle Turnbull races in. Claire Turnbull's effort just flashes wide of the goal. Wasn't far off on that, try to find the net on the blocker side there of Woolley. Battling along the boards, comes back loose. The Vipers will control, just play behind Sarah Kimber there, the number 6, who was looking to push out. Becky Kastner-Wood will control. Sends it back across to Aisling Rafter, and then off the boards for Kimberly Brengan to charge down. All fan clearance there by the Vipers defender, Chilman. Still with the Beacons, as they'll control. Work back to Becky Kastner-Wood, who fires, forces a save out of Woolley. And once again, we'll get a face-off in the Vipers zone. Well, the Nottingham team got off to a great start this season. They were in the top 2 after their first handful of games, but in what has been an ultra-competitive division, really, between the 2nd and 8th place teams. and all the teams in between, I should say. As we get a whistle on the play, teams have been taking points off each other. They did beat Sheffield early on in the season, which was a notable scalp for them. The Vipers can bite you, they can sting, but also can give up a lot of goals as well. As they'll clear the zone, comes back out over to Emma Painter, and of course a couple of months ago the news that they're breaking free of the rest of the Nottingham Junior club, and there was issues with ice time, I think, and we do hope that they can get all that sorted for next season. They get the necessary funding as well, because Nottingham's an important venue for women's hockey. As the shot comes in off the left wing from Steph Towns, forces the save out of Woolley once again. Just over 5 minutes played here. It's 2-1 to the Beacons. And, well, game could not have started any better for the home side. First two shifts, first two shots, and we've got 2 goals. Coolshaw off the left wing. It's picked off, though, by Kimber. Good play from her. Abby Coolshaw battling down low, trying to win the puck back, and then it's cleared. Abby Robotham should get there first. She's had a usual pre-game meal of chicken wings. We'll get her fired up. Casey Trail will dump in and then head back to the bench for the change. Abby Coolshaw trying to pick up that loose puck just out of her reach there with Woolley, as it will eventually creep along by the base of the goal frame and into the blocker. Beacons use the opportunity to complete the line change. So a reminder, this is the last regular season game of the season for the Beacons, and the next opponents will be in 2 weeks' time on the Saturday morning in Sheffield for the playoffs, but opponents to be decided. The hope is that they will have 3 games that weekend, one on each of Saturday, Sunday and Monday morning, and with it hopefully 3 victories, as Vipers will push out, carried in by Robin Mullen. Nice poke check there by Caitlin Stocks. Lovely layoff from the left wing to Iona Harrison. To Claire Turnbull, gets under control and fires top shelf where Mama keeps the best peanut butter. And over the glove side there of Woolley to make it 3-1, and the Beacons have their 2-goal lead back. So a great open contest. And all 3 lines have got a goal now. Emma Wilkinson with the draw. Banked off the boards. Aisling Rafter will gather. Swept clear by Vicky Smith into the path of Kate Ord, who pokes it into the zone and will control. Work back. Pokes out again. Kimberly Brengan will gather. Back to Vicky Smith. Out wide. Smith on the right wing boards. Sorry, Brengan even off the right wing boards to control. Puck just sticking on her a little bit. She's got under the control now. Works it back to Becky Castor-Wood. Switches a play out wide left. Shot charged down. The plexi steaming up, but it was Aisling Rafter who got the shot off. Over onto the far side. Becky Castor-Wood will collect off the penalty box door. Drop pass to Kimberly Brengan, who tried to fire short side. Comes back over on this near side. It's back to Emma Painter. Wilkinson got a piece of it and then helped on its way. Redirected shot from Kimberly Brengan. Just flashes wide. Aisling Rafter's calling for it. Gets the shot off through traffic. And again, almost steered home. Back to Kimberly Brengan. Tried to fire blocker side. It's blocked though by the Vipers. They all look to push out. Kimber was already making the movement forward, but Vipers having difficulty in clearing the zone. Lovely play by Becky Castor-Wood with the poke check. Gets the turnover and then fires just wide of the top corner. Flicked on. Back in by Painter. 8 minutes played here, just about. And it's a 3-1 lead to the Beacons over on the far side. Kimberly Brengan will split 2 defenders. She was surely held back there. In fact, Nottingham player has lost a stick. I think it was just about round Kimberly's waist. She could have used it as a belt. It was wrapped round her that tightly. We come back to Stocks. Around the boards. Abby Coolshaw fanned on the initial one time that she was going to do, the one-time pass, but Puck maybe just sticking on him in the corner. Dumped in. Maybe turned aside by Megan Craig. Emma Painter quick to support her. Sends it around the boards. Caitlin Stocks get a piece of it. Clears. Painter will get it out the zone. Abby Coulshaw races on. Gets in behind, gets it under control, looks up for a drop pass to find Steph Towns, who fires straight into a bread basket, and Whitley will gratefully hold on for that one. But it's a nice breakout play and good interchange there between captain Abby Coulshaw and player coach Steph Towns. So Steph Towns will go in and take the draw. A bit of a delay before the puck drop. Work back to Coulshaw. Almost setting up Casey Trail on that far side to stab home. Puck goes into the corner. Steph Towns goes in to help her line mate out there. Coulshaw digs it out the corner, works it back to Steph Towns, who's blocked by Wilkinson there. Work back. Along the boards. Puck wasn't coming loose, and then it has. Vicky Smith keeps it in on the near side. Casey Trell works it back. Coulshaw tried the one-timer on the blocker side. Now Steph Towns, rising shot, edged away by the blocker once again from Woolley. Vipers will clear. That eases the pressure on their goal somewhat, as Smith will find Abby Robotham off the boards. Casey Trell chases down past the midpoint of the opening period. That was such an exciting start to it. Claire Turnbull trying to work the puck loose. Vipers will get it away. And the Painter will gather, sends it across to Aisling Rafter. Banks it off the boards once again. Painter's pass is picked off. Strikes the bottom of the goal frame. Iona Harrison with a nice shuffle pass to Claire Turnbull, who's doing a good job of leading this third line. Normally plays on the left wing on this unit, but with Danielle Turnbull moving up a line, it's meant that she's took on the responsibility of playing centre and on face-offs. Puck just got wedged underneath the boards. That's something that they're hoping to fix over the summer, I think, ahead of next season. The gate, the door on the bench isn't particularly good at releasing quickly, which you need, of course, for the players. Aisling Rafter will control. Of course, mathematically now certain that the Beacons under-16 team has qualified for the playoffs in Sheffield in a couple of weeks' time, and congratulations to them. That's a great achievement in what is only their second season of existence as a team, and be great experience for some of them younger players. It'll be Ruby Newland's last season with the juniors, so she captains that side. She wants to go out with a bit of a bang, I'm sure. But great achievement for them to qualify. Danielle Turnbull attempted wraparound, puck getting caught behind the back of the goal frame, and then we get a whistle on the play. I think it was caught in the netting at the back. 8:36 remaining in this opening period then. And we'll get an offensive zone face-off, which Becky Castler-Wood will take. It's been such a seesaw season, really, for all the teams located between 2nd and 8th in the table. Yeah, Whitley have won up to now every single game, and Slough have lost every single game, but all the other 7 teams have taken points and wins off each other in that battle and scramble for those 3 remaining playoff spots. And Nottingham come into this weekend still with a mathematical chance of making the playoffs, believe it or not. Well, they evaporated yesterday with Swindon's win, but just shows you how close it's been. Out wide to Danielle Turnbull, who controls in the left wing corner. Sent back across. Turnbull will get it again. Vicky Smith's calling for it. She'll get it and then sends it back across. Up on its way by Kimberly Brengan. Comes back to her once again, who pokes at it. Vicky Smith just about keeps it inside the zone. Vicky, who's Father, Gary Wood, is the bench coach for today. I'm sure it's not the first time she's been coached by her father, who was a former Whitley Warriors coach and player, of course, as that shot comes in off the left wing. Head of the junior programme as well. Got a prominent role at the club. So a man with a lot of experience and great to have on board. Worked back by Steph Towns, a shot from Emma Painter, comes back off the boards. Still with Casey Trail, who works it into the corner for Abby Coulshaw. Oh, and she's done well there. Steph Towns again cycling it well here at the Beacons in this low corner. Emma Painter's open if they can find her. Two players from each side into the corner there now. And it's come loose for Steph Towns, who fires just short of the goal. Over on the far side, it's helped around the boards. Abby Coulshaw once again. Got to go short side. Steph Towns quick to acknowledge the save though by the Nottingham goalie, Caitlin Woolley. Very quick to acknowledge it. It's a very good sporting player, Steph Towns. Well, one back by Steph from the draw, but Viper's going to push out as the puck didn't quite make it to Abby Coulshaw in time, and Abby was the first one back there to help out. Battles away well on this left wing. Ralph's trying to prevent the closing off that passing lane really, and Steph will go wide right to Casey Trail. Casey will wind one up from distance, just fired wide of the goal. Helped on by Vicky Smith, who's been outstanding at the back this season. I say leads, said it many times, pretty much every week, but she leads all Beacons defenders in points this season. Got her first goal of it. Had all been assists going into the last game away at Milton Keynes, but got her first goal down there. The boards on the far side. Good play this by the Vipers, just trying to make it a bit more of a battle and prevent the Beacons from playing their usual free-flowing passing game. Kate Orr carries in. Wilkinson puck just behind her, but she's got time to regather. Slips the puck out wide onto the right-hand side, and it's carried in. Over on the far side, well worked out by Claire Turnbull. Still poking away at it just to help the puck's momentum on its way. Ford works it back into the corner. Clear, only as far as Iona Harrison. Works it back, nice pass into the high slot there to try and find Aisling Rafter, who's pinching up from the blue line. 5 minutes and change remaining in this opening period. Aisling Rafter will check back. Carried in by Robin Mullen again. Lovely control as she had all her balance at her right foot, but had time to cut back and shoot onto her forehand. Such a fast player, both the way she thinks and reads the game as well as the way she executes it. As shot comes in from Kimberly Brengan, forces the low glove save by Woolley. 4:33 remaining in the period. Vipers with a chance to cut the lead once again. Beacons go straight down the other end of the ice and almost make it 4-1. Face off over onto the far side. It's won well by Becky Castlewood, who couldn't have timed that draw any better. Puck just creeps off the heel of a stick there from Emma Painter. Allows the Vipers to break down the other end of their ice. Gets the shot off. Out wide by Becky Castlewood, who centres it, sends it across onto the left wing side. Becky again along the boards, wins it back. Poke check from Kimberly Brengan. Trying to break the play back up, comes back to Caitlin Stock, sends it across to Painter. Who has to check back. Caitlin Stocks once again. Brengan, lovely rink wide pass to find Danielle Turnbull, who took it well. It's in behind, poke check comes in. Work back, fires across the face of goal. The only thing preventing that going in was the acute angle, but great effort on the boards. Cool shot. Forward. Control brought back in by Steph Towns, who will hold on and then go for a stretch pass. Flicked on by Casey Trell. It'll enter his zone. That allows Abby Coulshaw to follow it. Little over 3 minutes left in the period as Casey Trell goes over to the far side, sends it around the boards to Coulshaw once again. Casey Trell doing some good work along there. Normally is a defender, but helping out at forward once again this week as she gets a shot off. Puck come loose, I think, for a second there. She thought it might have gone in, but Mel Lydell quick to wave that one off. 2:48 left in the period then. 3-1 lead to the Beacons. And it's just a game they need to play and get out the way, really. The overall result means nothing, really, to either side now that the Vipers are no longer in playoff contention and the Beacons have long since wrapped up the league. But, of course, they do want to go the full season having won every game. That would be an accolade they'd love to have, no doubt about that. But, as I say, it's just a game that they need to play and maybe work on a few things. Nottingham, I'm sure they'll relish a challenge of facing the league champions. I gave the Beacons a strong game down in Nottingham back in January when it was a high-scoring affair. Shot from Iona Harrison, who fires just wide. Kate Ord off the boards. It's tremendous, really, that the likes of the Beacons and the Solway Sharks ladies have been so good, having wrapped up the league. They've still kept on going and not eased off. That was always a worry, and certainly seemed to be what happened to Solihull last season, and they carried that form into the playoffs where they got beat off Guildford. Poked away by Woolley, and, well, last week when they got beat off the Queen Bees, you would wonder if the same thing was happening again. But personally, I think they'll use that as a bit of a wake-up call not to allow that to happen. But sometimes, psychologically, once the job's done, it's only natural that you ease off slightly. But the Beacons certainly haven't done that, and the season's hard work will only come to fruition if they can get that job done against Bristol at the end of the season. Tried to go short side as Megan Craig will clear. Minute 30 remaining in the period. And we do seem to have an almost full complement of bulbs in the scoreboard now, so that helps immensely. Battling along the board, shot from Becky Castlewood. Flashes into the corner. Little over a minute remaining in this opening period. Emma Painter helps it along its way, but not plenty of Nottingham sticks in there to break the play up. Danielle Turnbull will go again. Working the puck well along the boards. Becky Castlewood never stops battling for full 60 minutes. What a player she's been. Vicky Smith sends it over around the boards, helped on by Danielle Turnbull. She'll get the return pass, but one of the Vipers players picks it off. Works along, just in front of the Vipers bench, and they'll maybe get one last attack here, but Becky Castlewood will get there first. Ageless performance, really, from Becky, who I think she just changes her batteries every season. She's good to go once again. Fantastic player and a fantastic career. That will do it then for this opening period. 3-1 lead to the home side. As we take a short break, we will be back with you in around about 3 minutes' time, so please don't go anywhere. welcome back to Hillheads then, as you can see the players still finishing off their team talks during the interval. And apologies, getting a message through there, just asking who one or two of the players were, who was following back home, I believe. But yeah, we're now ready to go then for the start of his second period. He's going to be the top line for the Vipers out there once again, led by Robin Mullen. And Becky Castle-Wood once again starting for the Beacons. They opened off the first period again. We're just checking that the goal judge light was working, or the goal light, I should say. Carried in by Mullen. Good bit of play from her. Aisling Rafter did well to stick with her. Fantastic player, Robin Mullen. She seems to dart from one direction to the next. You never know where she's going to go to next. She just seems to get herself out of tight situations, and such a good stick handler as well. As racing down that left wing side, Kimberly Brengan sends the puck across, picked off by Ralphs, the number 17 for the Vipers, and then helped on by Chilman. Puck just riding off the stick of Vicky Smith and will come back, but it's Aisling Rafter who's quick to read the play and carry out. Oh, she'll fan on it there. Puck just getting away from her just as she was about to play it. Kimber sends it across. Controlled well by Rafter once again. Stretch pass, which Kimberly Brengan will chase after, but that's going to be called for icing. So Kimberly, who had left the puck and was going to go back to the bench, will have to come back onto the ice. Minute 15 played then at the start of his second period, and it's well, the Vipers who've got off to a better start early on here in this period. So face-off is brought back to the right of Megan Craig's goal as she's looking at it. A good win by Steph Towns, and then Vicky Smith sends it across. Her effort is closed down on the far side by Hemming, the number 48. And then straight away, cutting off the left wing, Steph Towns, who finds the top of the goal frame. It pinged over the top. I think the scream was from her out of frustration. I think she thought it had gone in after all that hard work, but she'll get a second effort here. It's charged down. It hits a Vipers player high up in the arm. Abby Robotham shots charged down as well. And on the far side, it's worked back. They're out the corner, poked home. And it's Casey Trail with her second goal of the game, and agonisingly out of the reach of Woolley's outstretched glove there. She was trying to make the save, but she was just grasping at thin air in the end. But a fantastic stab home there by Casey Trail. And having soaked up that early pressure to begin the period, Beacon strike back and make it 4-1. Claire Turnbull with the draw. As the Vipers get it under control. Lauren Mullen, she gets a shot off, blocked well by Abby Robotham, who took that one. I don't know if it was in the knee, but it looked in the lower leg area. As Kate Ord looks to carry out. Just have to delay here, the Vipers, before playing. As that's dumped back in. But back. And Kimber gets a goal back for the Vipers. That one just seemed to trickle off the end of her stick and into the far corner on Megan Craig's blocker side. It was a good finish, that. A deft touch, really, was all it needed. And maybe that change of pace was what helps steer a puck in. But again, 2 quick-fire goals to begin the period, 1 for each side. Becky Castle-Wood just beckoning Kimberly Brengan over with her head there, just a quick signal there to, I think, where she was intending to play the puck if it was won. And again, great work from Becky as she Gets a wood on that rubber just to stop Robin Mullen from advancing towards goal. Lovely bit of play there again by Aisling Rafter, who looked to go on a rampaging surge forward. Kimberly Brennan will check back from behind the back of her net and then comes out for Vipers, but good play by Becky Castlewood, who's not given up that chance and still was able to get her stick on the end of that and get a shot off. She just never gives up, and even though the defender looked favourite to win that foot race, she still managed to get her stick on the end of that. Just over 3 minutes played at the start of his second period, then it's Beacons 4, Vipers 2. Sent around the boards to Abby Goulshaw. Goulshaw again into the path of Steph Towns. Work back. Clears the zone. Comes back to centre red. Emma Painter didn't hold on. Shot comes in off the left wing from Hemming. Steph Towns again. What a joy and delight it is to see her in action week in, week out. Goulshaw to set up her line mate there, and Steph just steers it wide. Goulshaw again. Physical play there from Robin Mullen. She knows she's going to have to mix things up if she wants to get Abby Goulshaw off her game. That's what she's trying to do. And Trail sends it across, comes loose. Steered wide by Steph Towns. I think there was enough bodies there, though, covering off that blocker side for the Vipers. Shot comes in again, this time from Aisling Rafter. And another one off the pads this time, as Woolley's net is leading a charmed life. Abby Goulshaw works it back to Rafter. Puck just bounces underneath her foot and Robin Mullen's away. It's a 2-on-1 rush. Steph Towns is getting back to even it up. Shot comes in, back off the post. Had Megan Craig beaten on the glove side, but it was a fast break out there by Robin Mullen. Couldn't beat Megan Craig though. Well, she did actually, but she couldn't beat the post and steer it inside. But Beacons go again. Goulshaw down the left wing. Fans on it, poked away, just allowed the Vipers defender a chance to recover. Kate Ord, good play beyond the back of the net, but outnumbered. And then Claire Turnbull in there to help even things up a little bit. Shot comes in, kick save, flicked away. As we're going to get a whistle here. Let's see who it is on the far side. I'm not sure if it's Aisling Rafter who's got caught there. No, it's Kate Ord. Thankfully she's okay. She's coming off the ice under her own steam. Yeah, it's very difficult to see when somebody goes down who it is exactly. It's going to bring the play outside the zone for the face-off. As Wilkinson's line is out there with Bickle and Hemming. Two-line hockey that the Vipers are playing against the Beacons' three lines. Turnbull cuts back in onto her right-hand side and shoots. Forces a save, but Woolley will hold on. Face off to the left of Caitlin Woolley's net as she's looking at it. Worked back by Becky Castlewood. Back round for boards. And again, Becky Castlewood. Caitlin Stocks helps us on its way. Lovely cut back there for Kimberly Brennan to get the shot off. Again, it was set up fantastically well by Becky Castlewood, who's the chief playmaker on this line, really. Well, on any line she plays on, to be fair, as it's played forward by Abby Rowbotham. Puck just slowing down on the blue line for Kimberly Brengan. I think she was waiting to see, making sure that nobody was in an offside position before she played it. Rowbotham will control off the boards. Caitlin Stocks sends back round. Brengan forward, poked clear. And again, Becky Castlewood sends it across. Kimberly Brengan shoots and fires and scores. And connected sweetly with that. I think it clipped the inside of a post and it rang its way into the net. She gets her second goal of the game, along with Casey Trail. But a nice finish that by the Prestwick-born player. So back we go then. Steph Towns carries out. Casey Trail. Towns carries in. It's a cool short. Comes back loose. Just thinking, I wonder if that goal was scored by Casey Trail, thinking about it, because that line seemed to stay out there and take the draw. So apologies if I've got that one wrong. I thought it was Kimberly Brengan who got the shot away. Work back for Abby Coulshaw, who steered that one just wide. It was a good effort though, and from the high slot. Puck up along the boards. The reach of Casey Trail. Ralph's working it loose from the boards, flicked on by Mullen. Kimber forward, poked clear by Megan Craig even. Back off the boards. And back around. Abby Coulshaw controls into a path of Steph Towns, but quick turnover there. Casey Trail just trying to set up the play. Steph Towns is in behind. Can she finish? Steers it wide. Got the 1,000 point marker in our last outing for the Beacons 2 weeks ago down in Milton Keynes. And our first of 2 goals in the evening. Ashling Rafter, who's having a great game, surging forward once again. Gets his shot off. Couldn't really trouble Caitlin Woolley-Rowe on that occasion. Out wide to Leona Harrison. Tried to feed Claire Turnbull, that the puck just not quite behaving. Ralphs didn't really get her shot off either. Nice. Work back. Into the corner. Beacons will look to get it under control, but outnumbered there slightly. Nice cut back by Robin Mullen, picked off easily though by Claire Turnbull. Nice pass to Iona Harrison, tried to take it in her stride. Bit of frustration there from the youngster as it didn't quite come off what she intended, but just got to keep plugging away. Leads the Beacons B team in points this season, Iona, as well as the Cullercoats ladies football team as well. She's their top goal scoring striker, so she knows how to score plenty of goals in whatever sport she plays. So Beacons using the opportunity to make a line change here then. Becky Castlewood's unit is back out there, and looks like Emma Painter And Abby Robotham on D. Fired in from distance, goes into the corner, almost at the midpoint of the game. Becky Castlewood once again. Not wide. For Danielle Turnbull, who controls, splits the D, gets the shot off. Oh, and it looped off the top of Woody's shoulder and rode over the top of a bar, but that could have gone anywhere. 9 times out of 10, that would have dropped into the net, but agonisingly over the top from Danielle Turnbull, who would have loved the goal, I'm sure. Danielle, who's one of the perfect teammates you'd want on your team, and she scored this time. Straight from the draw, Becky Castlewood found her. She just drifted in front of the face-off draw and slotted home. Again, that change of pace maybe deceiving Caitlin Woolley, but it was a good finish, and she found the bottom corner of the net on the blocker side, and it's now 6-2. Casey Trail comes off the back of Wilkinson's skate over Abby Coulshaw. Puck just crossing the centre red line. Now Steph Towns will enter. Controls, being eased over to a more difficult angle, pushing her onto her right side, but good bit of defending that by Chilman. Stocks forcing the save. Got her first official point 2 weeks ago at Milton Keynes. I say official because she did get a couple of assists early in the season that were wrongly given to other players, one of which went to our good friend Abby Robotham, but Caitlin was raging about that, but happily she got on the score sheet down in Milton Keynes 2 weeks ago. Assisted on Abby Coulshaw's, it was her first goal. Coulshaw doing well, works it back to Casey Trail. Steph Towns blows a tyre with no one near her. Work back, Coulshaw to Stocks. Kick save off the pads, rising shot from Towns, fired over the top of the net, and we'll get a whistle on the play, but Beacon's relaxed out there, I think. Just it has a sort of end of season feel to the game, I must admit. It's not so much maybe intensity as we've seen in recent weeks, so Beacon's just really going through the motions, making sure that I can get the game completed, and I'm sure Forts will be already on the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. I say the opponents to be decided depending on who qualifies with the Beacons, and indeed whether they're to play the 3rd or 4th place team, so won't be determined until next weekend, but the likelihood is they'll be facing a very tough opposition. Ashling Rafter, shots deflected wide. Over onto the near boards. Emma Painter centre cross. One-timer from Kate Ord, who rifles that into the back of the net for 7-2. And an emphatic finish by the sniper, Kate Ord. My brother Jamie recently re-signing for the Whitley Warriors. That was announced in the last day or so. So great news, and it's great to see Kate back playing this season. What an addition she's been to the Beacons this season. .36 remaining in this second period, and 7-2 Whitley. Becky Castlewood with the draw. Danielle Turnbull will chase it in. Work well done on board. She's created an opening for herself here. Got Kimberly Brangham with her. She'll go short side, and it will be saved well by Caitlin Woolley. 7:23 now left in this period. Becky Castlewood to take the draw. Vipers win it with Wilkinson. Vicky Smith does well to keep it inside, and then finds Danielle Turnbull, but then it's flicked away by the Vipers. And Robin Mullen, who's pushing out quickly. I think it was Robin. No, it wasn't. In fact, it was Hemming. Leah Hemming, who was number 48. Becky Castlewood, sorry, Kimberly Brennan trying to set up Becky Castlewood, who crashed the net. Cleared well by the Vipers, gets it away. Vicky Smith should get there first, ahead of Hemming, which she'll do, but Hemming didn't put the brakes on and carried on going, and almost capitalised on that loose puck. Did get the shot off, but Megan Craig had it covered. 6:38 left in this second period. So the Beacons with a face-off in their own zone to the right of Megan Craig's goal, as she's currently looking at it. Won by Robin Mullen, but Katie Trell was quick to pounce on that. Lovely drag back, she's in on goal. She's got Abby Coulshaw with her, she'll not need her though. Pips McGee scores again. 6:29 left in the period, and Casey Trail with a fantastic breakout play to make it 8-2. So she had Abby Coulshaw up alongside her to her left, but Casey getting back to almost the fitness she had last season. I think that's a hat-trick marker. Is it 3 or is it 4? Depends if I got that call wrong, I guess, before. But great to see her recovering from that double hip operation. And understand that she's going to be playing abroad next season, so she will be a miss for the Beacons, there's no doubt about that. Particularly if they do go up to the Elite League. How do you replace somebody of the talent of Casey Trail, who remains to be the only British player to be drafted by the WNIHL, the Women's National Hockey League in North America. In fact, we've done away with the draft policy there now. It's all open tryout, so unless they change the rules back, Casey Trail will go down as being the one and only ever British-born player to be drafted. Quite an achievement. Robin Mullen receives the puck from Rouse, fires, forces Megan Craig into a high glove save. She had it on her chest, it dropped right in front of her. Megan then dropped to her knees and had it covered. It was nowhere near going into the goal, but Vipers claiming it had. I guess you'll shout for anything though, if it was to get you back in the game. But Megan did well. Her instinct was just to drop and cover it up, and the pads did the job there. Smart bit of thinking. It was always going to be a difficult one to take, really, because it caught her high up in the chest. She was almost off her feet as she made the save, and difficult to hold on in that situation, but dealt with it well. Kick save again by Megan. She's not had a great deal to do, really, and both Vipers' goals have come from counter-attacks or breakaways. So Iona Harrison will work it away. 2-on-1 rush here. Vipers getting the second player back. Iona trying to get the puck over, but good play by Aaliyah Hemming, who's, I thought, looked very strong on his second line. Nice bit of play, but good stick work again by Claire Turnbull, who's again impressed me on this third line. Good shot from Kate Ord. Works back to Vicky Smith, who fires. Oh, and it hit, did it come off the top of a glove or a shoulder perhaps of Caitlin Woolley? She seemed to look down at her glove, at her thumb, but seemed to just skim the top of something and went over as Iona Harrison just steers that one wide down in front of a crease in the low slot. Puck goes into a corner. We'll get a whistle on the play with 4:10 remaining in the period. In fact, no, it's because the public skating entrance door has popped open. That's been an issue a couple of times this season. It's always the problem when there's been a session on if the doors haven't been checked. It's left to one of the youngsters to close the door there. Hope he's getting paid for that. There's officials has gone over. I think it's Mel Lydell. No, it's Davey Emerson looking at it. I think there seems to be an issue with the bolt, perhaps, and that's what Davey Emerson's looking at right now. Two-man system for this game. Mel Lydell, the other one, and there does seem to be an issue. He's going to go over to the timekeeping bench, I think, or perhaps needs rink maintenance to have a look at something. He's coming over to a Beacons bench just to go through what's happened or what's happening. So the last thing we need now is for it to be a delay or, dare I say it, an abandonment. We've seen that a couple of times this season. Well, thankfully, it seems like somebody has fixed it. And we're back underway then. Won by Becky Castle-Wood. Abby Robotham sends it over. Puck sort of sticks in the dasher boards, comes back loose. Good play by Robin Mullen, but picked off by Daniel Turnbull. Gets a second attempt to that one, forces a blocker save from Caitlin Woolley. Kimber looking to break down the right wing. Becky Castle-Wood blows a tyre in the neutral zone. Shot from out wide. Good block by Caitlin Stocks. The positional sense is fantastic. Abby Robotham sends it over. She pushes out now with Kimberly Brengan. Becky Castle-Wood right behind, and she controls, goes for the attempted wraparound, forces Caitlin Woolley to make the save. 3:20 left in the period. Steph Towns ready to take the draw. Up against Emma Wilkinson, the number 8 for the Vipers, won by Steph, and then Abby Coulshaw sends the puck back to her and then back out to Abby, but how do I reach her, Steph? Abby Robotham floats one in. Oh, big rebound, comes back out to Steph Towns, who was onto it quick as a flash. Still in control, gets a shot off and scores! And that's point 1002, I believe, unless she's got a couple of assists. Good finish that by Steph Towns, who went top shelf. 2:59 remaining in the period. I suppose the next real milestone for us is to get to 550 points. Which is not going to be far off. We're going to be into the 540s now. Controlled by Aisling Rafter. Rink wide pass to find Abby Coulshaw down the left. Nice little cut back, dual control. To Steph Towns, opens up for her, winds one up. Shots cannoned in, but comes back off the knee of Morgan Cameron, the number 3 defender. That'll leave a nice bruise, I'm sure, on her knee in the morning. Work back on the far side. Vipers trying to push out, but good play that by Emma Painter, just wouldn't let the puck leave the zone. Forces a save from Kate Ord. Fired really strongly at the goalie there. Aisling Rafter will control with 2 minutes remaining in the period. Emma Painter won't clear the zone, but Claire Turnbull helping her out. Puck will roll its way out the zone. Lovely little bit of flick there by Kate Orr, bit of improvisation. Oh, and a lovely drag back as well. Done it up like a kipper, fires. That must have just clipped the bar and come out. I thought it had gone in for a second. But fires again, it's caught on the side netting. But lovely bit of play there and drag back there did Bernie Showman up like a kipper there. And she's had a strong game as well. But Kate Ord with a full repertoire of tricks there. Kimberly Brangan, who slips a pass into the path. Danielle Turnbull cleared. Becky Castle-Wood. Let's try to get in behind Jones on that far side. Back with Becky Castle-Wood to Danielle Turnbull. Centres it. Almost steered home though by Becky. She went to that near side on the blocker side. Minute 10 left in the period. 9-2 lead for the Beacons. It's going to be a penalty. Is it? Okay, it's all gone in there, but it's still 5 players on the ice for the Beacons. So she's just taken herself off there, ready for the break, but fired in by Becky Castle-Wood. Unless there's an issue and she needs some attention. Hopefully she's okay. Somebody has gone over to see her. It did seem a bit unusual for her to go into the box. Worked out by Kimberly Brangan. Finds Danielle Turnbull, who turns back round and finds Becky Castle-Wood. Drop pass to Danielle, back to Kimberly. Out wide left. Pochek comes in over on that far side from Ella Rook, number 13. Stocks, fires, didn't get a clean connection on it, just wide of the goal. Becky Castle-Wood will control on that far side once again. That will do it then for the second period. A 9-2 lead now for the Beacons. It'll be another short break of 3 minutes. We're not going anywhere. You do the same. Welcome back to Hillheads for the start of the third and final period. A 9-2 lead for the Beacons. Haven't heard any more updates from the game in Slough, but it certainly appears that the Firebees, who their own playoff aspirations ended yesterday when they lost to Swindon, have shook things up a bit with their huge win, or lead at least. They were winning with a period to go against Sheffield. Kimberly Brengan races down at right wing, gets a shot off. Sheffield, it's not disastrous for them. They just need to get a point in their final game against Kingston to guarantee that they'll go to the playoffs, which of course is their host venue, as it were, their home. But Kingston, if they beat Sheffield, they will qualify at their expense because they would have had the head-to-head. They'll be level on points with 18 and they would have beaten them twice. So all or nothing in that game, it seems now. But Swindon on 17 points, MK on 16. Now those two meet later on, as I said before. Steph Towns gets a shot off. And it's saved well, once again, by Caitlin Woolley. Beacon's going for a jugular early on, once again, at the start of this period. Steph Towns to take the draw. It was a kind of an anticlimactic puck drop that by Mel Lydell. It seemed to just sort of fall in slow motion towards Steph, who was able to control it, set up the play in the offensive zone, gets a shot off, big rebound. Caitlin Woolley will cover up though, and we'll get to go again. Casey having a bit of a laugh there after the whistle, just exchanging pleasantries. Thought about the slap shot there from Casey Troll. She faked and then centred across, comes back all the way down. Abby Robotham will control, sends it across to Aisling Rafter. It's out of the reach of Steph Towns, but good idea. Puck will advance, as will the team, as Abby Coulshaw digs it off the left wing boards. Laid off by Steph there. Both Abby and Steph, it's been a relatively quiet game for them by their high standards. Casey Trail grabbing the goals on this line, certainly. And, well, Becky's line really being the one that led, I would say. But comes off the foot of Casey Trail. She chases it in. She'll have to come back, though, as the puck leaves the zone. Steph Towns re-enters. Ooh, just out of the reach of Abby Coulshaw. Tried to control it with her foot, but couldn't get the blade to connect on the rubber. Again, puck just bounces away from Steph Towns. Vipers will get it away. Beacons having to regroup here is Kimber. Controls, sends one in on net. Turned aside by Megan Craig, and that confident sweeping style she has as she goes from one end of the crease to the other. Vipers just about keep it inside. Rouse to set up the play. And Chilman. Robin Mullen back again. Lovely poke check there by Iona Harrison, who stole it off her, but ran out of numbers, really just outnumbered. She was 3 against 1. That was a nice bit of play, that, by Iona. Carried out from the back, shot through traffic. Rook, the number 13. Work back, down this left wing side. Iona Harrison gets in behind Robin Mullen again. This has been a great shift by Iona. This is twice she's outwitted Robin. Get a whistle on the play. Interference. So I think it's going to be the first penalty of the game. It's going to be on Nottingham. It's going to be on Robin Mullen. She's a huge player for Nottingham to lose. You would suspect at 9-2 that the game should be over as a contest in that respect. So, I think, all due respect to Nottingham, you wouldn't expect them to score 7 unanswered goals in the remaining 16:29 of the game, but she's still an important player for that team not to have on the ice. As Steph Towns out wide. Casey Trail sends it across to Abby Coulshaw. Nice Slick passing this from the Beacons, and Casey Trail scores once again. Tic-tac-toe pass in there. Cool short to pick out Casey Trail at the back door. And that gets you to double figures then, 10 goals to 2. I think Casey Trail's exploded offensively in this game. If memory serves me right, I think it was the corresponding game against the Vipers in Nottingham earlier in the season when Casey made her seasonal debut following hip operations. Great to see her back now, shaking off any of that rust that she might have had following the operation, and been in fine form in the second half of the season, and it has corresponded with the Beacons, who've, well, obviously they've won every game, but a lot of the games in the first half of the season they had to work hard for. The second half of the season it's been a lot easier for them. They're playing hockey at a much higher level really than their opposition. Smith into a corner for Castner Wood. Just over 4 minutes played in this last period. Kimberly Brengham with a shot. It will be saved by Isabel Woolley. And obviously having converted on that power play, Robin Mullen is back out on the ice. She'll take the face-off against Steph Towns. As I said before, Robin Mullen played some games for the Kingston Diamonds last season against the Beacons. I seem to remember she played one, certainly the first game that they played down in Hull. So a bit of a surprise she didn't stay there really. She's clearly a good player and can play at that level. As collision up along the boards between Casey Trail and Sarah Kimber. Abby Coolshaw, trying to set up Casey Trail at the back door once again. I think Casey just couldn't slam the brakes on quick enough. Her legs were already taking her behind the post. Trying to almost wrap it around in the end. Casey Trail with a nice layoff to Steph Towns, who works it back into a path of Iona Harrison, who will carry in. Poke check away. And that one will be covered up once again by Woolley, and we'll get a face-off in the Vipers zone. Well worked there from the draw by Claire Turnbull, who for me has to be in contention for player of the game. I think Casey Trail will as well, with the number of goals she's had. On lost count, is it 4 or 5 now that she's scored? Abby Robotham over to Caitlin Stocks. Sends it back around. A yelp comes from one of the players there. I think it was Sarah Kimber who was brought down. Looked a painful one, but she's got up okay. Iona Harrison, nice drag back, worked some space for herself. Trying to take on 4 players there, and she split the team. Puck will stay in the offensive zone. There Turnbull takes it into the corner. Works back for Painter, who flicks it back out wide. Nice cut back again. Again gets a shot off. It will be saved by Woolley. And we'll get a face-off in the Vipers zone with 13:29 remaining. 10-2 lead now for the Beacons. And Kate Ord seems to have gone off the ice again. I don't know if there's a bit of trouble with her equipment or an injury herself. She seemed to be going off relatively okay though. She didn't seem to be limping by any means, so hopefully it is just an equipment issue. We saw her in there towards the end of the second period. Making her way around. Yeah, she seems okay. I've just seen her walking around through the gap in the seats from that far corner. but hopefully she's okay. Becky Wood works it back, I guess, if there is an issue and you're up by 10 goals to 2 with less than 30 minutes remaining, you can afford to sit out the remainder. But Kate's been an important player for his team this season, and we do hope it's nothing serious and it is just an equipment issue. Abby Robotham sends it across to Caitlin Stocks into the zone. Vipers will control though. Stroked out, Sarah Kimber colliding with Abby Coulshaw. Abby doing good again, works it free for Kimberly Brengan, who was screaming for a pass there and received it. Abby was an all-action player really, always at the heart of what the Beacons are doing, leads a team in assists and points this season, and took on the captaincy role just a couple of games into the season really. There's Casey Trell, tried to steer out one home and then stabs it clear off the back of the netting. Worked back by Abby Coulshaw. Casey Trail behind Steph Towns. It will come to Caitlin Stocks, who fires, big rebound. Stabbed just wide by Abby Coulshaw. Coulshaw again. Work back on the far side. Nicely done. Steph, who shrugged off that challenge, still in possession. Then the puck gets away from the last second. Cleared. As the Vipers will push out with Emma Wilkinson down that left-hand side. Casey Trail now switching the play out to the Beacons left wing. Abby Coulshaw with a poke check, trying to get in behind. Again, has to deal with a challenge. Puck just sticking in the boards and will be cleared. At least I'm assuming that's what happened. It's out of our sight lines here. And it happens along the side directly beneath you. Out wide. Flicked on. Casey Trail will continue. Again, Trail cycles back round. Can she get a shot off? And the Painter calling for it, shoots. It's through traffic, comes back out. Casey Trail again, works it back to Emma Painter. Work back on that far side. Vipers looking to push out. Nice bit of play this by the pacey right winger. Leah Hemming, and that will draw a save from Megan Craig with 9:45 remaining in the game now. So the Vipers top line back out there up against the Beacons third line. That means Claire Turnbull up against Robin Mullen, and then it goes into a corner. Mullen again. It's a shot off. It took a deflection off Turnbull. We're going to whistle on the play. It's going to be a penalty. I think Claire Turnbull took herself off there. Didn't even bother looking. I think she knew what was to come. It was going to be a tripping call. So a first power play opportunity then for the Vipers. Puck's cleared. Caitlin Stocks, back to Abby Robotham. Nice saucer pass to Becky Wood. Bit of football skills to get the puck onto the blade of a stick. Gets the shot off, will chase down the rebound from behind the back of the net. Robin Mullen with the play to break it up. Nice control as well on the D from Shulman. 35 seconds burnt off his penalty. As the Vipers looking to build, but they're pushed right back into their own zone here. Minute 15 left for them to work with now. Switching the play onto a wide left, but Steph Town saw that a mile off. Capitalises on it, fires, hit the outside of the post and then rebounded out. That'd be Coolshaw batting to try and keep it inside the zone, but it will clear. Only as far as the blue line, and Caitlin Stocks, who gets it away. Coolshaw controls, it was right under her feet, I think, as the Vipers will push out and enter the zone. And Wilkinson will control up along the boards. Nice play though by Abby Robotham, who gets it away. Won't quite clear the zone, but Steph Towns finishing the job off and switching it out left to Abby Coolshaw. Turned into a really nice pass as Sarah Kimber gets back. Coolshaw just watches it sail past as she dekes one way and then into the corner. Nice play though by Rook, who broke the play up behind the back of the net. 17 seconds left on this Vipers power play then. Emma Painter getting it back to Vicky Smith, who sends it into the left wing corner. Beacons will chase after it with Danielle Turnbull, who will close down and then have to head back the other way. Abby Coolshaw working well. She'll dig it out the corner. 7:20 remaining in the game. Beacons back to full strength. Brought back. Becky Castle-Wood steers it home. That was a beautiful finish, and it was a lovely pass as well from Danielle Turnbull, who was in Gretzky's office. Set up Becky Castle-Wood, who steered it round the defender and inside the post on the glove side of Caitlin Woolley. It was a really, really good finish that by the Professor, showing her intelligence. Now Lydell ready to get us back underway. Put knuckleball on its way, rolling on its side as Danielle Turnbull works it back to Vicky Smith. Out wide to Kimberly Brengan. The pace of it, it's going to be offside. I think Danielle Turnbull was certainly recovering from an offside position. I think Becky Castle-Wood might have been as well, but you saw the pace there from Kimberly Brengan, who just raced into the offensive zone down that right wing. Beacons will change their forward line, top line back out there. Steph Towns will take the draw. 6:41 to go. 6:47, sorry, to go. Shot from Robin Mullen out on the wide left wing. Sarah Kimber helps it on its way. Back to Mullen. Good defending by Caitlin Stocks to break the play up. Comes back through. Good save by Megan Craig, who covered off the near side. Nice switcher of play to Abby Coolshaw on the left wing. Heads up play, sees what's available. Can she take the shot off? Well, she didn't, but Casey Trell did. And that is definitely a double hat-trick for her. And Abby Coolshaw, who created the chance really. Door just seemed to slam shut in her face. The two defenders closed her off, but was able to slip the puck back to Casey Trell, who rifled home. 12-2 and the 6:13 remaining. Abby Coolshaw looking to break out quickly. So the Beacons, for me, haven't really got out of second gear today. They've done what they've needed to. Vipers, who looked lively in the first period and a bit, but once the scoreline got out of reach, obviously a bit of despondency is bound to creep in. Nice bit of football skills by Abby Robotham, who takes it on her left foot and controls it onto her skate, onto her stick rather. She'll get it back again, floats one in, turned aside by Caitlin Woolley. Abby Coolshaw back to Casey Trell with a attempted one-timer to steer it home. What a game she's had. I don't think anyone else can get player of the game other than Casey Trowell today. Steph Towns. As I say, she's scored at least half the goals today, which is incredible when you think about it. Trail again. Puck comes through. Played out wide. Caitlin Stocks will control. She's got Abby Robotham alongside her. She'll use her. Abby sends it back wide right this time to Aisling Rafter, who's moved into a forward position to make up for the loss of Kate Ord, who I can see is in the timekeeping bench, I think now. Comes back through. Fiona Harrison. Sort of got a shot away on the turn there and couldn't quite get enough power into it. She was off balance. Ralphs tried to enter the zone, picked up by Aisling Rafter. Much like Casey, she's very good at playing up as a forward when required. Very intelligent player, Aisling, and has been a great addition this year. Vicky Smith had the puck stolen off her by Robin Mullen. Good save by Megan Craig. I don't know if that hit her helmet, seems to be just readjusting it a bit. Iona Harrison racing down the left wing, 4:08 to go. But she's gone down awkwardly. She's getting up slowly. I think she's okay, but a little bit tentative there. Comes back through. Helped on its way by Megan Craig. Works back for Danielle Turnbull. Turnbull, nice check back. She'll go again. Slips it out wide to Becky Castor-Wood. Up on the near boards, comes back to Kimberly Brengan. Again, works it free for Becky Castor-Wood. Kimberly Brengan. Back to Abby Robotham. Fires. Goes over the top of the goal. I'm sure as a Sheffield-born girl, she'd love to score against Nottingham. Shot comes in off the wide left and floats in. That'll be saved by Woolley. 3:06 to go. Wilkinson with a draw, but it's going to be the Beacons who come out with it over on the far side. Stillman, and then good effort from behind the back of the net again by Danielle Turnbull, who's really good at that. Showing the inner Wayne Gretzky to her game. So Emma Wilkinson will push out. She'll have to go it alone. She's got 3 Beacons players closing in on her. Becky Castor-Wood's the one who wins it back. And shouldn't be surprised. She's so good at doing that. 2:30 to go. Nice close-up shots there for Grant Craig, I'm sure. The unofficial photographer for the Beacons. So any pictures you see of the girls online through in-game situations, courtesy of Megan's father. And very good they are as well. Nice drag back by Steph Towns, who fires. That's going to hit, well, has hit the helmet there of Caitlin Woolley. Steph going over to apologise. Not that she particularly needs to, it was purely accidental, of course. 2:05 to go. But Beacons showing no signs of easing off, which is good. They need to use this really as a way of getting themselves ready for whichever team they'll face in the playoffs. It'll be one of, well, 4 potential teams fighting for the 3 spots. Sheffield Shadows, Kingston Diamonds, who meet next weekend, and that's going to have a huge bearing. Whoever wins that will definitely be in the playoffs. Kingston lose, they're out, simple as that. But if they win, and it's Sheffield that loses, they could be out, as Robin Mullen is tripped there by Abby Coulshaw, but a bit of an exchange from Kimber, who wasn't happy with it. I mean, it was a trip, yes. Probably should have been a penalty, but that's up to the officials to call. Not really Abby's fault. It was, I'm sure, it wasn't what she intended. But in the end, the other 2 teams, MK Falcons and Swindon Wildcats. So It will be one of them 4 teams which the Beacons will face in the semi-finals, and 3 of them 4 which will make the playoffs and join the Beacons in Sheffield in 2 weeks' time. Steph Towns with a going forehand to backhand didn't quite come off that little shuffle she did as she come down the high slot. Less than a minute remaining in the game. Look up along the boards. Work free. Emma Painter will fire from distance. It comes wide of the goal and back off the boards. Slip forward, back to Vicky Smith, to Steph Towns. Works it back now to Emma Painter. Over. Forward by Vicky Smith. Out of the reach of Aisling Rafter, I think it is, who's up there again. Indeed it is, on that right wing. Comes back to Abby Robotham, who will control, switches the play around the boards. It will come to Iona Harrison, 15 seconds to go. Caitlin Stocks sends it around the board this time. Aisling Rafter looking to push out. Puck will come out. And then Iona Harrison looking to steal in with 2 seconds to go. That will do it then. The Beacons complete their regular season with a 100% record. 16 games played, 16 games won. Quite an achievement. Bristol didn't manage it last year when they went up. They dropped points. It's harder than you can imagine, especially in a league that has been as competitive as it has. There have been some scares for all the Beacons. It's not been quite as easy as the stats read. So, as I say, the achievement is quite significant. They're going to have a post-game huddle. Vipers ready to do the post-game handshakes. They're ready to get things underway, but understandably, after such a landmark victory, the Beacons are going to want to have a little on-ice debriefing. As for player of the game then, well, it can only be Casey Trail. What was it, 6, possibly 7 goals that she scored today? I did think, though, overall play, Claire Turnbull was fantastic. Asked to play in a centre position today. It's a different role to what she's carried out for much of this season, normally played on the left wing. So, one of those two for sure, for me. But you can't really look past a player who's scored half the team's goals. As for the Vipers, well, obviously Robin Mullen is an outstanding talent, and she was at the heart of trying to drive her team forward at every given opportunity. Aliyah Hemming, I thought, was handy on that second line, looked a good player. But for me, I think probably the defender, Bernie Chilman, number 47, who, again, a bit of an odd choice to go for a defender when the team's conceded 12 goals, but I honestly thought she did some great plays throughout. So we shall see. We will wait on air and give you that post-game ceremony. It does look like Kate Ord is in the timekeeping bench, ready to give the or do the post-game ceremony herself. So again, hopefully she's okay. It was maybe just an equipment issue. She didn't seem to be too unhappy as she left the ice. So if it is an injury, it could only be a slight issue. And she didn't seem to be in much discomfort there either. So hopefully it is something and nothing. So, yes, number 48, Aliyah Hemming. So that's the player I did pick out on that second line. Very well deserved. She looked very bright on that second line going forward. Very well deserved. And it's gone to Abby Robotham, number 53. Very well deserved as well. She's been outstanding since coming into the Beacons team around about Christmas time. Both her and Caitlin making the journeys up from Sheffield. The pair of them have been fantastic additions to the Beacons this season. And, well, I think all the girls who've come in this year have made such a difference. And you can add Claire Turnbull and One or two others interact, one Ashling Rafter as well, of course. But anyway, that wraps up the game for this evening. A 12-2 win for the Beacons. 16th win of the season. Bring on the playoffs. I've been Adam Atman. Thank you and good night.